Hey, what's happening, YouTubers? This past week, I was honored to attend the McFarlane Toys New York Comic Con event party. The event took place in a beautiful Manhattan showroom. On display were a variety of McFarlane Toys products. There were figures being showcased from the past, currently what's on the market, and some that weren't even announced yet at the time of recording. But of course, after this weekend, you probably already know what these figures are. Nonetheless, it was an amazing experience. Now, the showroom had this awesome sectional display in the middle of the showroom. It had all these new figures in there and some other products from the line. As you can see, the Frankenstein, and it had the Overkill. And then this one I had to look into, but I found out what this figure was. But it was a character from Dark Knight's Metal. It's essentially all the Justice League combined into one. And then you can see the clown here as well. And then this Omega Spawn is dope. I'm still not going to pick it up, to be honest with you, because it's a little too demonic looking for me, but looked dope nonetheless in person. And of course, they had some DC Direct stuff in there. They also had the new Avatar figures on display, and they also had blue lights there, so you can use the special effects in the world of Pandora. Now, this scaling isn't my size that I collect, but it looks dope nonetheless. I like the detailing in there for that small of a scale. So if you're a huge Avatar fan, I highly recommend picking it up because the intricate details in the world of Pandora is amazing. While I'll admit I'm not the biggest Avatar fan, there's no denying that these figures do look awesome, and I probably will be picking up the 7-inch scale ones, especially that Amp suit and that Banshee. That's wild. So double jointed elbows, 4.5-inch figure, goes in the mech suit. That's awesome. Now, switching over to this table, they actually had a table of goodies and goodie bags for people that came that were invited, so you could pick out any figures that you wanted from this table. All right, Rob, so we're at the event, and we're going to look at the table of goodies. Let's see which one you're going to get.
I think I'm going to get this Overkill from Spawn.
Yeah. And a couple Avatar stuff.
Yeah, maybe this Avatar is pretty rad.
We're going to switch things over to McFarlane Digital, and first I want to say thank you to Trevor Dietz, aka @BuiltByTrevor on Twitter, for kind of demoing and showcasing McFarlane Digital. So essentially what McFarlane Toys is going to work on in the future are like digital currencies and NFTs. So stuff that they have made in statue or figure form will also be made with the same attention to detail in NFTs, which I think is pretty cool. Now, wouldn't be McFarlane Toys if I didn't highlight some of the My Hero Academia stuff, which they did have on display, which was cool. They have stuff you've already seen before, and also other figures that have been announced but haven't yet been released in retail. And the figures that were being displayed here at the event were stuff in their 7-inch scale, of course the statue you saw on the top, stuff in the 5-inch scale that you've already seen before, and this is actually the first time I'm seeing it in person. It's the Sports Festival Arena, so you see Deku right there with the little bass and the effects, and of course a 2-pack that hasn't been released yet. Famous photographers right here. Shout outs to Rob, Sir Dork, and John. But they had the Retro 66 stuff on display with some new figures like that King Tut and this Two-Face. This thing looks incredible. I might pick this up even though I don't really collect the Retro 66 stuff. That one looks awesome. And of course, they have the Batcave, which you've seen before. They didn't have the Villain's Lair. I wish they did. Next, we're going to move over to Spawn. And shoutouts to John, aka A_aesthetic1 on Instagram for all these awesome promo shots of the figures that were showcased throughout the showroom. But you can see they have the new figures on display like Sam and Twitch and stuff that are currently out there in retail like Mega Spawn, Ninja Spawn, and Haunt, which I already have in my collection. The gold labels were on showcase as well for the Mandarin Spawn. And this is the one I'm looking forward to the most. Plague, and it's awesome to see the highly detailed face, because in this promo shots it looks like it was illuminated, and it looks like you can kind of replicate that same effect with these figures just because the paint apps look amazing. You see the Nightmare Spawn on display as well. Like, the details put into these figures are amazing. And then you see a closer look of King Spider. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick that up initially when it comes out. I'm definitely for sure going to pick up Plague. Now, I did bring my Todd McFarlane figure to the event because it's a McFarlane Toys event party, so why not, right? So I did put him here in the middle of the Spawn display because all this came from the mind of Todd McFarlane. Speaking of Todd McFarlane, Rob, they just said Todd's here.
Awesome, I can't wait to meet him.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Todd Father himself, Todd McFarlane, front and center, meeting everyone at the event, taking pictures, signing autographs, and just chatting it up with everybody. Overall, the event was a huge success. And for me personally, it was an experience I'll never forget. I had the opportunity to talk with people in the toy industry, get their perspective, and understand the business a little bit more. But more importantly, I met some amazing people. I was afforded the opportunity to meet with other people in the media, talented photographers and artists that share the same passion for the hobby. I got one of those awesome goodie bags with McFarlane Toys logo on it, and you bet your ass your boy stocked up on some free figures. But one thing I'll never forget though was meeting Todd McFarlane. Easily one of the cool experiences ever. And I have John to thank for that. So thank you again for the invite, and thank you McFarlane Toys for this once-in-a-lifetime experience.